So, Natasha, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for being part of this event. It was great to have you as part of the panel.
No problem.
So we'll probably maybe go over some of one or two questions that you've probably been asked already, but it's just be great to hear. So from your perspective, let's start at the beginning. How did you get into sports, journalism, writing, broadcasting, all of those things?
Like all the ladies on the panel tonight, it wasn't easy for me. I started doing a lot of free content, producing a lot of free content for various websites, bombarded lots of local national newspapers, was lucky enough to get a few weeks work experience on one or two in my local area. And then I did my NCTJ and got an internship at Mirror Sport. After that, as I said on the panel, I had no life for 2 years and I worked full time while doing sports journalism, creating my own blog, and thankfully Momentum came along and I started getting paid. I didn't have to work 7 days a week.
That's really interesting. That kind of brings me on to my next question, in that you say that you did it for 2 years. What was that the biggest challenge? Were there any other maybe big challenges you faced when you got into the industry?
I think the biggest challenge was knowing absolutely nothing about the industry. I didn't come from a family where we had anyone in media or sport or anyone to give me any tips or hints, and there wasn't many people that I could reach out to. I was lucky in that I found people like Anna, people like Jackie, people like Rodney Hines at The Voice who've been so supportive throughout my whole career. But I think walking into an industry blind, and maybe it gave me a confidence and a lack of fear because I didn't know where I was going to mess up. But yeah, that was probably the biggest struggle for me.
Okay, and taking everything that you know, all your experience, what advice would you maybe give to anyone else in the industry or looking to go into the industry? I would say particularly those from a BAME or, I say a female background, I guess, a BAME background, or females like yourself. What advice would you give them to maybe as they're starting out to get into the industry?
I mean, I'm a big believer in representation, and I know if someone sees me and I look like them or sound like them, they believe they can do it. So just because you don't see someone that looks like you could be the first person. And what you have, being a female or being from a minority background, is you have a different experience, you have a different knowledge, a different lifestyle, a different mentality. That is your strength. When you interview a player and they're from a similar background, you can ask them about their culture, where someone who can't. Or you're a female and a player's just had a baby and you might ask him about the sleepless nights. A man may not think to ask him about that. Use your differences as your strength. Use that as a way to create content that is not the same boring tripe that we see every day.
I love that. I think that's a really good example. I've never asked anyone about sleepless nights and a baby, so thanks for that.
So it was Danny Simpson when he was at Newcastle still, actually.
Brilliant. No, that's awesome. Well, finally, last question. Obviously, this event was put on in partnership between the FWA and Snack Media. What, I guess, do you say for attending an event like this, which really is predominantly for those in those minorities and for females looking to get into journalism? Perhaps there aren't other opportunities like that. So what would you say maybe to Snack Media and the FWA for putting this on?
I would say thank you. I would say we need more events like this. I'm hearing stories about people moaning because there was 5 women on the panel. Well, get over it. There's been 5 men on every panel for the past 50 years. We have voices. Everyone has a voice. Just because there's 5 women on the panel doesn't mean there is no men in the audience. We're open to everyone. We're here to share our knowledge, to educate, and to create an industry that is more diverse than it's ever been.